Welcome here. Welcome. Welcome to Onenest Sports Talk. It's your host, the most Agile X. No need to brag nor boast. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, sharing the love for sports and athletics. Anyway, guys, if you like what I'm doing, we appreciate it. All I'm asking for you to like, share, comment, subscribe, and let's grow this channel. You understand? This is a young channel and we are growing, so I need you guys to view. I need the views and I need the guys to like and to subscribe to the channel to what is going on and this movement. Okay, guys. So today we have a lot to talk about, and the topic is hot right now based on we're in the only World Cup here. You understand? And the World Cup is a few months to come, and it's in the United States of America, Mexico, Canada. You know it, and ticket prices out of this world. So a lot of us just decide to stay home and watch the World Cup on our television. Yeah, but hopefully we can get the chance to buy a ticket and to go watch a game. But the games that we want to watch, it's a little bit out of our reach right now. But anyway, let's get it. Today we have I think Wayne Rooney is going viral on a comment that he made, and it was a panel with Wayne Rooney, Gary Neville, I think it was Ian Wright, a few past English players, and the question was posed. But you know what? Let me play the video so um, you guys can see where I'm coming from, and then I'll give my take on it without, and I'll try my best not to bash United legend. So let me pull it up on screen and I can show you guys what I'm talking about and we can take it from there because I really don't want to be the person to be bashing Wayne Rooney. Had a great career. You understand? Yeah, he had a great career. So let's pull it up on screen and let's just watch the clip together. Okay? So give us a second and we can watch the clip together. First, let me apologize if you guys couldn't hear what was going on. Your boy is young in this, so as I go, I'll get it better and better. Learn how to do this on the better spectrum. But enough of that. Let us start. The question was posed that is Prime Neymar better than the EPL players, right? Or what players would be better than Prime Neymar? And you can see Roy Keane gave his his opinion, and the panel was giving their opinion on the players that they believe that is better than Neymar. You understand? So let me sip some coffee first. Yeah, me have a big coffee mug. But anyway, for these giants in the game, right? Past giants, legends of the game, to be saying the utter disrespect on the name of Neymar. I can understand that rivalry and this is the World Cup year, so Neymar is a Brazilian, not an English player. So you guys can have your opinion on the player, but for Wayne Rooney to be discrediting Neymar, you understand that is utmost disrespect. You understand? Because I think if you compare Wayne Rooney high scoring season and Neymar high scoring season, Neymar is winning him on that aspect. The only thing Neymar doesn't have that Wayne Rooney has is the strength. You understand? But when it comes to IQ, talent, off the ball movement, moving with the ball, Neymar is basically unmatched. You cannot compare any player right now with the talent of the Neymar, right? And it is unfortunate that Neymar grew or rise to success in an era where it was dominated by two names. You understand? And everybody else haven't got the highlight like what they just are truly deserve, because you had Ronaldo, who is one of the greatest player we have ever seen. Likewise, Lionel Messi, who is also one of the greatest player we have seen in our generation. We have heard about Pele. You understand? Never seen Pele play, but Pele has a record that, for me, I still don't believe that record, even though I am truly a fan of Brazil. You understand? And the goal scoring record that they say Pele has, you understand? It's, for me, it's not realistic. But who am I to judge? They have it in the book of records. But for me, I think it's a little bit, it's a lie. For me, it's a lie. And if you see it otherwise, feel free for us to have a debate on it. You understand? But for me, in that time and that era where football or soccer was a defensive game, you understand, and was more physical and brutal, for you to score the amount of goal that they said that you have scored. You understand? For me, it's not realistic. And we have seen where soccer comes to, it's a scoring game. And we saw Ronaldo and Messi at their peak of scoring, right? And for all the season, they haven't eclipsed Pele's record when Pele had played less seasons. You understand? So for me, it's a lie. But that's my opinion. Go back to what I'm saying about Mr. Wayne Rooney and his comment that he made on Neymar, right? We watch Neymar's career. A lot of us watch Neymar's career. We saw when he rose to fame in Brazil, the Brazilian Cup, when we heard about Neymar. I think Neymar was 14 when he came on the scene. Elusive, skill, scoring goals. He was a terror. Defenders feared to go against Neymar. You understand? I think the only player who was feared like Neymar in Brasileiro was Robinho. You understand? Robinho was a terror in the Brazilian club football, and Neymar came out, and he was a terror, right? And not all the time we have seen the skill and the talent like Neymar. And guys, I know people say that he falls a lot and he dives a lot, but a skilled player gets hurt a lot. what we cannot take from a player is his talent, and we cannot downplay somebody's skill. We have never downplayed Wayne Rooney because we know Wayne Rooney is not the best player, scored a lot of goals, win championships, and he contributed to Manchester United and England. But if you are trying to downplay the talent of Neymar, we saw Neymar went up with Lionel Messi, and he was a steep. He was the man to watch as well. Players, if you should interview players who played against Neymar when he was playing at Barcelona, they would tell you that Neymar was a terror, ruined careers. You understand? Neymar has so much highlights on football, and his IQ is out of this world. And most of the injuries is not like he had off the ball injuries. Most of his injuries was players stepping on him, kicking him, and because the only way to stop a player like Neymar is to physically hurt him. You understand? So don't try to downplay, and you're going to say he is not likable, and people were saying he was about the money. Come on, no guys. I don't think everybody just play professional football just for the love of football. You must be talking rubbish, because at the end of the day, you have to be compensated. Nobody goes to work because they love work. We go to work because we want to get paid, and we want the money to take care of our family. So what somebody does in their career and what they choose to do, you understand? If he wants to follow the money, wherever he goes, he made a mark. You understand? So I don't know why we're going to talk about Neymar was all about the money. Everybody plays for the money, Mr. Wayne Rooney, because you played and you were compensated well. You understand, Mr. Roy Keane and all of the panel. Why you guys are still in the media? You just don't do this just because you want to be a part of the media. It's because you collect a check at the end of the month or the end of the week. So when you guys go and talk about player just want the money, you need to stop this rubbish. You understand? Every player who played in football, soccer, you understand? We all played for the love, but at the end of the day, we want to be compensated. Not everybody who went out and played this game were compensated. We played, and because we realized that we not get paid, we stop and go look at regular 9 to 5, so we can provide for the family. So the notion that you guys are pushing around about Neymar and money, remember, the only thing Neymar hasn't won as a player is World Cup. You understand? He was in the finals for the Ballon d'Or when he was in his teenage or early 20s. And he did that when he was in the Brazilian Cup club competition. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. You understand? So don't play somebody's talent because you guys feel certain kind of way about a player. Okay? You can't do that, man. That's not fair. And to talk about you have never seen Neymar as a top player. So if you never seen Neymar as a top player, who would you recommend as a top player, Mr. Wayne Rooney? And I see a lot of YouTubers and podcasters. They are doing way worse than what I am doing, because they're pulling up your stats and your lifetime career and showing that whatever you have done, you have never outreach Neymar. So based on what you're saying, bro, you don't see him as a top player, but don't try to downplay the likes of a Neymar. Okay? Neymar did what he had to do for his family, and he moved around, but there is never a club or a country that Neymar went and he didn't create an impact. Yes, he was injured, but Neymar didn't get up and just run and got muscle cramp and pull an hamstring and all of that. Most of his injuries was in the field of play. Players were kicking him, but because he was so elusive and stuff, referee didn't want to give him most of the fouls. But if you can look on most of the time that Neymar got injured, you would see blood on his socks and the scars are there to show. You understand? So for what you guys are saying, and then let me tell you something. There's a few players that I could say, okay, maybe they have a better career than Neymar. Henry won a World Cup. You understand? They had an unbeaten record. You okay? But Thierry Henry, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to downplay Henry's talent because I watched him. Great rival because in the peak of Arsenal, there was a good rival between Arsenal and Man United. And I'm going to leave Henry out of it as a World Cup winner. You understand? And Henry is a senior player. So he came up against Neymar in the latter part of his career. So let us leave Henry out of it and move on. Mo Salah, never. You understand? Eden Hazard, never. Who else you guys say? Sané Mane, never. Never, ever, ever, ever. Who else? And you guys were throwing around some names. Come on, guys. As players, I know you guys are senior players or you guys are legend in the game, but I don't think you guys, some opinions you need to keep to yourself and leave it at your house. And you use that when you're in the bathroom or wash your skin. Taking on Neymar's name. Never again, bro. You need to stay home and leave that in on a wash on the bathroom and make that wash out down the drain and go to the sewer. Because those opinions are irrelevant and stupid. We see Hazard was at Chelsea. And when he went to Real Madrid, he couldn't even start. Not even complete a season. You understand? Hazard went to Real Madrid and his career was over. Never come back, retired at a young age. What you guys are talking about? You understand? Mo Salah failed at Chelsea and he went to Roma and he career and revamped his career and he came to Liverpool and made a mark on the Premiership. Who else you want to talk about? Because Neymar has never failed in any competition he went to. Come on now. What you guys want to talk about? So let us leave that alone, man. Don't disrespect the baller, discredit the baller. That is stupid and uttermost nonsense for you guys to be talking about. You never see Neymar as a top player. So if Neymar wasn't a top player, who you see as a top player? We are in this era where I think players don't like players. You understand? And when you guys have a panel and you guys get a chance to voice your distinct opinion on a player that you don't like for some reasons, you guys go out there and then you guys are spewing rubbish. You understand? Talking about Neymar like Neymar isn't one of the greatest Brazil players. And it is time for Neymar to be in a time where you saw Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi dominate soccer or dominate football for decades. And Neymar was a staple, a force to be reckoned with. Could go up against any one of these players and show out and show out. You understand? Then you guys want to downplay Neymar. Come on, man. Rubbish. And you're talking about you never see him as a top player. Huh? Come on. Don't do that, bro. And I think it's unfair when you have players or past players who don't like a player. And then you guys go on a panel. And then people who look up to one of the guys value your guys' opinion and comments. And then you guys try to bash and beat a good player so other people can look at him sideways. Listen, bad mind. Yeah, them have a thing called bad mind. Don't believe that these past players and legends of the game don't bad mind players because a lot of you guys didn't have the skill. And if you want to go in and the chicks box or the bag of tricks, you don't have so much. You know, not kick and run down and a one cut and turn. You guys were never that skilled or never that talented. And if most of you players who were recommended or seen as great players in the past, think about it, how you guys now look coming into this era. If you guys would have been that good in this era. Because football has evolved so much, and there's a few players who were in the past that can come into this era and show up and show out. Come on now. Let's be honest. We can all be honest about it. We don't have to break down the body and take them career and let them career look like garbage. You understand? Because a lot of your players was just a player who was in the right spot at the right time. And if we were talking about creating chances and stuff, we can remember everything is on a vinyl or can be accessed on the like of YouTube. So let's not just break down your guys' games and try to ruin the legendaries or the legendary plays that you guys are known for. And a lot of times just give a player his flowers. Leave on a bad mind attitude out of it, bro. Okay? Now I'm going to pull up no file and I'm not going to put any pictures or any stats sheets to prove a point. I'm just going to tell you guys that don't do it. Leave. If you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. Just let it pass. You understand? If you don't have something good to say, let it pass. And I've seen Wayne Rooney, you talk crap about Ronaldo. Gary Neville as well. You talk crap about Ronaldo. When Ronaldo come and show up and show that Man United now progress. And bash and beat the player. But at the end of the day, Wayne Rooney, Ronaldo and you played at the same club. Was a teammate. And he's still playing. And all you're sitting down and do chug up beer and drink and yam greasy food and get so fat that you can barely run. Come on, a matter of fact, let me move on because I will be starting to disrespect a player who played for the club that I love. You understand? Roy Keane as well. Gary Neville. Listen, let's just say Neymar, still a great player. Still a beacon, and still a beacon of hope. So respect, Neymar, continue your journey because the journey hasn't ended as yet. And there's a lot more football left in your blood. We just hope and pray that you have the fire inside to continue playing. So that is my ranting on what they said about Neymar. So let's move on. And we are talking football, and then I'm going to slide to track and field. And as a Jamaican, right? As a Jamaican. Yes. Big coffee mug. Yes, guys. So we saw the final selection of the Reggae Boys. And for that, we have mixed feelings. We have players and people and fans and spectators who are bashing the coach. Well, we cannot be bashing the coach. And one thing I got to say before I start to make my comments on what's going on the Reggae Boys, remember, the coach cannot be changed right now. And every coach in this history of football that we all played and love have their favorite players. There is always bias in every sports. Whether you like it or not, or whether you want to be real about it, bias is always in the sport that we love. right? And they're always going to be every single day of the week. So we cannot be half empty, half full when we know that bias is always in the game. The coach going to pick his 11 and somebody out there is going to say that is the wrong 11. Why you don't be the coach? Okay? We saw Leon Bailey's dad being voicing his opinion. And I think as a professional, right, you may not see eye to eye with the coach, but believe you me, if you're being real and honest about it, if you was the coach, you have your players them who you don't call to be a part of the squad as well. And you would have to leave out some players. Somebody has to get left, you know. Would you leave out your player who is not performing right now? No, you don't do it. So I guess you, Mr. Butler, yes, that's his name, Mr. Craig Butler. I'm not going to disrespect you in any way, right? You have some great opinions, and then you have opinions that you let your feelings and emotion cloud your judgment. When we talk about Whisper, great young talent, but he's not performing right now. He's not, right? Watched him in a few games. He came off the bench. Right now, the club that he's at need a striker. Very bad. They want a striker so bad. But he's not playing. Why he's not playing? You understand? Because at the end of the day, you know, we can talk and we can spit a good game. But at the end of the day, we have to show that we want it the most. And that goes out to be on the training pitch. And when you get your 5 minutes of fame, you make your 5 minutes last for a lifetime. Your impression has to be great. And every player knows that, okay, we have to do the work. You understand? And we know our weaknesses. And if we are not honest to ourselves, we never move to the next level. We have to be honest. Honesty is a must, and we have to be honest with ourselves and tell ourselves, okay, then I have to improve. We have to watch the game. Nowadays, we have too much tools not to analyze and break down our games, break down other players. Okay, this player is younger than I am. What is he doing that I'm not doing? You understand? We know biases is in the game, but for the top players, the Ronaldo, the Messi, you understand, the Neymars and all of those top players, what they are doing that I am not doing and what I need to be doing so I can move to the next level, as well as Kaim Dixon, good player, good young player, but he's not performing to standard. You understand? He's on the youth team when we are seeing younger players are out there playing with the men's. So there's something that we need to be doing to push ourselves up there and to stand out. You understand? Now go bash them because they're young. But they have to improve. They have to better themselves, make their best foot be the greatest footstep forward. Every time you go up on the ball, coach can't look away. You have to say, no, man, I have to give this player a chance. Okay? So that is why the young players go to the drawing board. Get your tablet, get your iPad, get your computer, whatever you have. Break down your play. Compare yourself to other players. See your mistake. Identify your mistake. And work on one. You see what you're good at? Good is not good enough. Be great at it. And what you're poor at, bring it to a good standard. So we are bring ourselves up a notch. Remember, guys, you're young and the world is an open book. And you have the push already. It's just for you to start to push yourself. Word to the wise. Okay. One of the strikers Nicholson, Shamar Nicholson, left out. Bro, you have been a part of Reggae Boys for quite some time now. Yes, you scored some goal for the Reggae Boys. But bro, we have seen you miss some clinical goals. You understand? We see you made some poor decisions. That's no knock on anybody. We can't knock the coach individually. You have to be that man. You can't score goals, some consolation prize goal, and yeah, you do this and you do that. Consistency is the key, bro. Consistency, 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 consistency. You were always a part of the team and never qualified. And at the final game, you had chances where you should have banged the net. You should have scored, but you didn't. You understand? And now, club wise, you're not performing at your club. And we as Jamaicans are biased at times, but let us be unbiased. How many players who are not performing club wise got called for their country? I am waiting. So Jamaicans, stop be biased and stop talk about and using the feelings and emotions. For me, I did a segment that I don't believe Speed should have been the head coach. Because if we go back and check the numbers and check the facts, Speed was the advisor to the coach who did make it to the World Cup. So Speed has his input and his fingerprint all over the Reggae Boys that didn't qualify. So I don't know if this is a redemption story for Speed, why they gave him the head coach. But hear what? We cannot say or do anything because he is the coach right now. And if he is the coach, we can't do nothing but work with the coach and wish and be the well wishers. You understand? We see Leon Bailey hasn't found his farm. Injuries and maybe things now go his way. And then again, we all know if you're a player and you play that sports and even a runner, everybody hit a spell of poor performance. Of it's like you can't get your foot right. You understand? So I'm not going to bash Bailey. I'm just saying that hit the gym, start beat some iron because we heard that you did calisthenics and that's good. But we need you to be stronger and physically opposing so you can run on the ball, control the ball, and get back to the farm that you had. But it's more mental than physical. And we have to, you have to get out of that slump. But you have players where a piece of player is better than not having that player on the pitch. Because you have players who command the respect and the attention, even when they are not at their best. And that is Leon Bailey for Jamaica. Because at the end of the day, Leon Bailey is the biggest player right now at Jamaica and in the national squad. And he's known over the world. So even though Leon Bailey is having an off season, when he goes to the qualifying, coaches are going to say, hey, make sure you have a keen eye on Leon Bailey and don't give him any open space. That's what respect does. So for who is saying that Leon Bailey shouldn't be a part of the squad, come on, get your feelings and emotion out of it. Use up yourself. So we know that players like those we can't leave out of the squad because we need them for the mental aspect of the ball game. Because we know football is 90% mental, 50%, maybe I chat foolishness, 90% mental and 10% physical. So we have to have that mental advantage. Players and team and countries and clubs and coaches are going to say, hey, make sure we keep a keen eye on Leon Bailey. So that is it. You understand? And let's just wish Jamaica and the Reggae Boys all the best and all the success that they too deserve. And we are hoping and praying that we get to see Jamaica again at the World Cup. We have a young base players, and we have some good players coming up. So if not this year, we got to wait until the next 4 years. Understand? And we hope it's not waiting on the next 4 years. We want to see this year. And I know a lot of people living in the United States of America or living in Canada who are praying that Jamaica makes the World Cup because it's in it's arm's length apart, are in our reach and are in our vicinity where we can support the reggae boys fully. Because I know if Jamaica makes it to the World Cup, Jenko people, my people and followers, Onenest family, seeing I know if Jamaica is in World Cup, the color will be dominated in Canada. The support are going to be fully. United States fully, and even in Mexico, wherever it goes, because this is our backyard. This is our home. So I don't believe that if Jamaica play, the other country shall outmatch the crowd and the spectators and the fans of Jamaica. You know, we are going to do it with Pana, with Ball, and with Bubuzellers and all of these things. And noise will be making, and we shall be dancing and celebrating, even if we lose. Because you know one thing with Jamaica, we stand together, united as a nation. We might be segregated, we have our differences, but we want to come to support. We show up and we show out. So one Jamaica, you understand, despite the coaches and despite who got left out, one Jamaica. You understand? When you put on the jersey, you are just supporting not yourself, but you're supporting one of the greatest country or the greatest Caribbean, one of the greatest Caribbean. I'm not going to be biased. I'm not going to be biased. So let me say one of the greatest Caribbean in the world. You understand? One love. Let's do it, reggae boys. Step out and let's dominate. Remember Road to France? If you're never old enough and you will see the Road to France, every time the television make us, every time there's a commercial, rise up. Yeah, Road to France was singing. So make we start the Road to America. Yeah, man, make we start this Road to America celebration and go out there. But the only thing is we cannot play it. We are all going to be tuning in, watching, praying with our fingers crossed, even our toes, waiting for Jamaica to qualify. Okay? So that was that. And that is football. And I'm saying, if you're here, remember, don't be afraid. Become a part of the Oneness family. You understand? We are going to be we are working on getting 100 followers. We have to start somewhere. You understand? So let us get 100 followers. People, just follow the channel. And I'm saying whatever I say or said that you have an opinion, or if I've made an opinion that you dislike, don't be afraid to comment and we can elaborate and talk about it. There's conversation. I am always open for a conversation, because we're never too old to learn. You understand? We're never too old to be corrected. Okay. So let's go on to track and field, because as you guys know, the world indoors is active. You understand? And world indoors is active, gentle people, and we saw the men's I was about to say 100 meter. Remember, indoor 60 meter. Don't get carried away. We saw the 60 meter finals. The semifinals was nice because we saw Bromel steer down Kishane to the finishing line, and I'm like, okay, Bromel has made a statement. You understand? And we saw Jordan Anthony, who ran against Noah Lyles and collect the championship belt from Noah Lyles. We had no intention of giving up his belt. So he went out there, showed them that, okay, I am the man to beat for now, and it's my time and my season. And we saw Mr. Jordan, the real one. Kudos to you, bro, for winning your gold medal. And your time, I think you have the fourth fastest time in the history of 60-meter, and one of the youngest, or if not the youngest, to win the gold medal. So let's watch the race. You know, we cannot be talking and not watching. So I have to show you guys what I'm about to talk about before I get into the meat of the muscle. A lot of people going to beat me like slave, but listen, it is what it is. It is what it is. I am not going to be scared. And you guys got to know that, right? What you guys have to know is in this world and this era that we're living in, and when you sit in front of a camera and decide to make a video, and with that decision, you decided to talk about sports or anything that you plan on talking about, you cannot be biased. So anything I dish or when I'm sharing, anything that I'm sharing, gentle people, right? I have to give everybody the same amount of food on them plate. So if I am going to beat an athlete, no matter where you're from or the country that you represent, they have to beat, even if you're a Jamaican. Yeah, I'm not going to stay away from certain things or don't say my opinion. And before before I start to talk about it, let's um let us watch let us watch the race together. You understand? Let's watch the race together, and then we can talk about it. So let's pull it up on screen. In before who won, who came in second, and such a good race. You understand? So let's elaborate on this now. Ladies and gentlemen, I did a short, so you guys have seen my short. Twitter went Twitter came alive. You understand? And a lot of people were saying silver is Kishane's color. I think a week ago, before the World Indoors, I did a segment on Kishane Thompson talking about the way he ran his races and what I haven't seen or saw whatever we want to call it. Or I haven't seen him run a 200 meter. I have never saw him run a 400 meter as a sprinter. You understand? Excuse me. So I was saying that I believe that he needs those open season openers in his DNA to continue into the season. For years, we watched track and field and we saw sprinters run 400, 200 competitively. You understand? For their season openers, just to give the muscle a feeling of the wear and tear of the longer distance. And I haven't saw or seen Mr. Kishane Thompson running those races. So I was breaking down on a lot of things on his 80-meter mark that he hits a stopping speed at 80 meter, and then he started to decelerate, and he hasn't have the strength or the speed endurance strength to maintain that speed and decelerate on a slower level. But no, this is within his range of running. You understand? Because 80 meter was his mark to hit. So 60-meter is way within his speed process and speed range. And you guys saw that he was closing in very fast. Poor start, and we know that he always has a very good start. And then we come to say that competition wise, is he choking? When he feels the pressure, is Kishane choking under the pressure? Because Bromel beat him in the semi-final. You understand? And in the finals, well, for somebody we know who has a great start, poor start in the finals, by the time he got running, it was too late. And we all know that the 60-meter is not the race for you to make any error or any mistakes. You have to be on point for everything. So, Kishane Thompson got second place in the men's 60-meter finals. And what color is it? Let me give you guys some times. Silver. And I said that Kishane, for now, let me say it. For now, Kishane is the next silver surfer. And I thought, I said it long time ago, but I have seen that I am not the only one who has that opinion. You understand? A lot of people are saying, yes, he's the next silver surfer. So he is in a great company of Kenny Benerick and Linford Christie. A few, a few, a few great silver surfers. You understand? Guys, oneness, oneness family. Yeah, listen what I'm saying. I really don't want to be saying this, but here, what is good for the goose is good for the gander. And if I am going to be being honest about what I am saying, until he's still young and there's a lot more running in his DNA and a lot more running in front of him or ahead of him. So he can step out of the Silver Surfer line. But for now, he is in the line of Silver Surfers. And what can I say? He didn't got the goal. And this is his third championship that he got silver. So Olympics, silver. World Championships, silver. Indoor Championship, silver. So I don't think he's a fan of gold. You understand? And it is okay. Some people like yellow gold, some people like white gold, some people like platinum, some people like diamond. And I guess silver is just his favorite kind of jewelry. So I hope we will see Kishane change his jewelry. Let's see Kishane change his wardrobe and move out of the silver line and Kazima make some money, So let's see him start buying some yellow gold. Please don't buy the white gold because white gold look like silver. And he is one of the finest silver surfer right now out there. So Kishane, you have room to improve and better it. But let's not take it away from the young sprinter, the young American, and let's give him his props and give him his flowers because he went against men's and he showed them that I am here and I am ready for the competition. Let's see what goes on in the remainder of the season and when we step outside of the indoor and went outdoors and goes on the circuit. Because I know a lot of people will be watching for his performance and to see how he continues. And we all be here watching and looking because at the end of the day, we are fond of the sport. We said we represent and celebrate and cheer for our countries, our respectful countries. But if I am going to be honest and talk about it, America is like Jamaica and Jamaica is like America because the rivalry is so thick and strong, but the support between athletes and the relationship between athletes for years now has been unmatched. You understand? At the end of the day, we all compete. When we go to the line, we are there to compete against each other, but we build and forge relationship with each other. And it's vice versa because I know we are so biased that let me tell you how biased Jamaicans can be in athletics, right? I don't think if Jamaica or if Jamaica is not in a race, right? Great Britain is not in a race and America is in a race against the other countries. Who you think Jamaica is going to celebrate for or going to be cheering for? We're going to cheer for America. You understand? And even if Great Britain is in the race, we are going to cheer for Great Britain and America. You understand? Because Jamaica is not there and we are so competitive that if we are not winning against America, nobody shouldn't win America or Great Britain. You understand? So throughout the time of this competition, we are competing, but yet still we forge relationship with each other. And it's like we are one big family. So right now we have to just support Jamaica and hopefully our athletes because we have some young talent coming up, and we have some great talent. And for this great talent, guys and ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, I'm talking about the GOAT herself. Everybody gives Shelly and Fraser the GOAT, right? But we all have our own GOATs. And let me get her on screen. You understand? Let me get my GOAT on screen because she is my champion. I have watched injuries played a big part in her life, took a toll on her, but she is back, ladies and gentlemen. And I said this previously that if she goes out in her season opener and perform up to standard, I'm trying to I'm trying to find the race that she ran, her season opener, so we can watch it because I know. Let me put this. Yeah, we watch Elaine ran her season opener and she ran at 22:61 for her first 200 in 3 years. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm still trying to find the video of Miss Elaine. Okay, I think we have it here. So we the fastest woman alive. Yeah. And I think a lot of times they try to downplay her great. You understand? They try to downplay Alien's greatness. And I know that people favored Shelly and Fraser. She is one of the greatest female sprinters. She have done it for a long time, great in her own rights, and there's nothing to take away from Shelly and Fraser Price. But on the sprint scene, Elaine Thompson is the fastest woman in 100 meter today. You understand? The only person ran a faster time than Elaine Thompson is Flojo. And I think a lot of people are saying that Flojo's record is questionable because, back then people used to be running under the substances, and testing and banning substances wasn't that great back then. So in this, and I don't think a lot of us have ever seen or saw Flojo run a physical race more than tapes that we have saw or we have seen of her running. So for us to see Flojo running, we have never seen. But let me pull up before as I keep yapping, let me pull up Elaine Thompson's 200 meter in 3 years, and we're going to see her farm. And ladies and gentlemen, Onenest family, with Elaine Thompson, when she looks good and start to run good, let me tell you something, man. People is in trouble. So let's watch the race. Let me shut up and watch the race. So she's running out of lane 6. Okay. Quiet from the start. So guys, if you look at the clock, when they are on the time, they I think it's 22:60. The cameraman is not that perfect, but guess what? He was showing us what's going on. Okay. So Elaine Thompson-Herah, good, one of the greatest female sprinter of all time, and no question about it. Okay, the fastest woman alive today, and for me, I am quite excited because if a healthy Elaine Thompson is problem to the record, and I want her to smash this record, and I think this season, the record shall go. You understand? Because I think based on her training regiment, and we saw, because this now, Elaine is not in her sprinting form right now because she was doing a lot of weights. And when we all know, when you do a lot of weights, right? You are just building strength right now. So with the weights and her running this 200, because I think the other day she ran a 400 meter as well, and she ran good in the 400 meter. So we know there is something to come. Let me not jump ahead of myself because I am excited, because the way she ran that 200 meter, I know something exciting is on the way. You understand, guys? And Miss Elaine Thompson, and I think, let me just say this, right? We watch people downplay her greatness a lot of times. And Jamaicans downplay Elaine's greatness a lot of times. We have our favorites. And I see it over the years that we have made people be villains and we lift up other athletes. Sherika Jackson is a great athlete. You understand? Shelly Ann Fraser, she is a great athlete. But you notice I'm looking to the side because I am watching highlight. I think Aston Villa is playing and Leon Bailey is on the pitch. So I keep prepped in the TV, you know, to see his style of play because I want to see Leon Bailey gets back to the great. But let me stop and talk about football because I talked about it. I'm talking about Elaine Thompson-Herah, or Elaine, the fastest woman alive. And I see how a lot of people don't play the greatness of Elaine Thompson. Think she two Olympics, double gold medal, or 200 and 100, double gold medal individually. She has dominated or dominate the sprint. You understand? Ran the second fastest time in history. You understand? So let's not just push Elaine to the side and people being praising Shelley and Fraser. And I'm not saying you shouldn't praise Shelley and Fraser because she is a great athlete. But remember, man, give to Caesar what is due unto Caesar. It is in the Bible. Give unto Caesar what is due unto Caesar. And we are not giving Elaine Thompson the respect that she truly deserves. We act as if she hasn't set her mark and did something that a lot of athletes have not done, both past and present. You understand? And we saw that she has defended her title. But we all know that track and field is one of the most unforgiving sports. Let's just talk about that for a second. How unforgiving track and field is. Because you trained so hard, worked so hard to just be warming up and get an injury, and then we are out for the season. So let's not downplay the hardness of track and field. I think soccer or football or soccer/soccer, we played with injury for the whole season. If it's not a broken bone or something that stopped us from moving around, we played with a bruised thigh, a bruised ankle, sprained wrist, sprained knee. We played with so much injury. And we go out there and perform at a high level. You understand? And with every sport, you can play with some injuries, but with track and field, once there's a muscle involved, you can't perform. So the most unforgiving sports to me is track and field. And when injuries are plaguing or beating you, you can't beat back the injury. You have to just succumb to it. And we have seen Elaine struggle with injuries, struggle, and people don't play her. And activists act as if she's not a great athlete. Yeah, we see them look down on her, trying to make it seem as if she's hating on Shelly and Fraser. And then we saw Sherika came and she did her thing, and there was a love and hate triangle where I see they're trying to deal with Elaine like she's a third wheel. You understand? Yeah, them deal with Shelly and like Elaine like she's a third wheel. Act as if she not deserve the respect and the admiration of a great female athlete. So she hold her own, she did her thing, She went through a few coaches and people bash her on the coaching decisions. But remember, people, you have to know what you know, and you are not there with an athlete. You understand? You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So when somebody chooses to make a move, you have to respect it. She won with her first coach and she stepped away from the coach and she won races as well. You understand? So let's not downplay it. And I saw you guys, a lot of people disrespect Elaine. Asked her to the side and Shelly and Fraser and Sherika Jackson. Okay? But if we want to check the record and check the levels, let's check the levels between Sherika and Elaine and see how great. You understand? Because we see Sherika stumble twice in the 100 meter. You understand? She won the 200 meter. And then she lost the 200 meter. You see me? So she's not dominating her strongest event. She was walked down and walked away in her last 200 meter competitive or championship. You understand? And you couldn't capitalize on winning the 100 meter. So you choked. You choked. You choked. So when it comes to 200 meter, Rika silver surfer as well, Let's not downplay it, She's a silver surfer in the 100 meter. At one point she was the strongest, but you have never beaten Shakari at a championship. Remember that. Shakari has your ticket. So you have to call Shakari and ask her to release the ticket. Right, Sharika? Call Shakari and make Shakari release your ticket so you can win a 100 meter. So let's not downplay. Let's not downplay it and act as if act like you're gonna get dominated and beat it twice in the 100 meter. At major championship, you have to look for second place and love it. Silver is a color at the 100 meter and you won the 200 once, and then the second time when you have to defend it, you got whooped. Okay? And people don't play Elaine greatness. Act as if she's not great. So let's put some respect on Elaine Thompson. And like I said, Elaine Thompson is back. And a lot of people see what I've seen. And we know that Elaine is here to make a mark. Don't know if this season will be her final hurrah. But if it's a final hurrah, I'll be tuning in. And I know if she's healthy and injury free, and if she ran her opening at 22:61, and when she started to do that speeding to shake off the heavy weight off the muscles, and start to speed, I think this year, mark it down, check it, Onenest Nation. This year shall be the year that FloJo's print record shall be no more 1 million. And in that, I will close and saying thank you. If you have watched this far, like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe. You understand? Comment. And if I've said something that you guys disagree with or agree with, go to the comment section. I mean, I reply right away, but I do check my comments and I'll reply. And if there's something that we can debate on or elaborate on, feel free to hit me in the comment section and we can talk about it. Thank you guys for watching. This is Onenest. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you stayed here, watch this, and I truly appreciate it. So I ask you guys to share and like, hit the bell notification that when I upload, you guys will be the first to watch. Be safe, live in love, and let love follow. Thank you for watching Onenest Sports Talk. It's your host of the most. No need to brag nor boast. It's your boy Hajilex. Thank you. And like what Vibes Cartel said, what's under my nose? I'm out. Thank you. And have a blessed day.